Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, viewers and listeners. Good evening, Gambia. It's me, Suleiman Ben Swari, back on Facebook Live. Just to react to the announcement made by Honorable Halifa Saleh during the press conference, particularly just 1 minute. Particularly the appointment, or I don't know how to call it, an appointment. Is it for a special aider, security aider to the President, Adam Barrow? Why am I talking about this topic? Why am I reacting to this topic? Is the importance of it. The security aspect of this country is the most important part of it. The stability of the country lies with the security industry, security services. If we get the security services wrong, we will not progress at all. My reaction to this is because we fought for something. We fought for democracy. We fought for good governance. That's why I will react to this. I will not go into details, but I will outline my concerns on Friday on Fatu Radio Live, where we will have a larger coverage, and citizens and people concerned will have time to react to this development. I think it's a very important development that needs to be looked into. Possibly recline the declaration, or if it's an appointment, recline the appointment. Why is it a problem? We have to govern better. We have to govern as a democratic government. We have to use procedures, we have to use systems, we have to put in mechanisms in order to guarantee the transparency, in order to be different, in order to avoid the nepotism or the cronyism. If the government did not use any mechanism or procedure or explain a mechanism or procedure that's been used to reach to a point of recognizing one Gambian among millions of, over a million of Gambians, there's a problem with it. How did they come up with the name? How did they come up with the individual? If a person is selected or appointed to do a job, we should make sure that not only that the person is qualified due to his qualification, certificates he's carried, the institutions he studied from, but we should be sure of the person's track record. It's not for individual citizens to vouch for that person, but it is for the institution of government to vet all the leaders of that government, to institute a mechanism that would vet the individual, to prove that the person is upright, and the most important thing too, the task given to that person, whether the person is in position, whether there's anything like a conflict of interest in that person managing that position. It is important, again, to make sure that that person is impartial, that person is independent to do that job. Why am I coming on Facebook Live? Because, as I said, the security apparatus or the security of that country is the most important aspect of our recovery. If we fail, we can't register any other growth or progress in that country. We are not satisfied that there was any procedure or any mechanism been put in place to make sure the right person for the job has been identified. What's the reason for me saying that? And the reason for me coming on Facebook Live is, yes, myself, I always advocate for us to be sensitive. I always advocate for us to give chance to the government. I always advocate for us to look at all the instruments or look at other ways to approach the government and alert them for any miscalculations or decisions taken that might jeopardize the progress or the stability of the government. Have I done that? Yes. We were aware of Mr. Ma Sanneh Kinteh's presence in Senegal a couple of days ago. We have used all the channels available to us, apart from picking the phone to speak to the president himself or other people that actually try to ignore our plea, to reconsider. And our intervention actually probably might have averted the most dangerous precedent they were about to create. To our understanding, Ma Sanneh Kinteh was proposed to be the CDS. How can you propose a CDS when you have an existing CDS? We have to be very sensitive. We have to be very careful the way we handle the management of the security of the country. I have tried, we have tried. Now, our appeal, our advice have fell on deaf ears. Now our constitutional rights and duties to come out and sound the alarming bells before it's too late. Yes, we will do that from Facebook Live, and we'll go for a bigger platform, which is Fatu Network, and I will sit on that platform and I will call out, and I will welcome every Gambian, whosoever have a view, to bring up their views, and we alert the government of our dissatisfaction or our satisfaction to what they've done. My position is not about Ma Sanneh Kinteh himself as a person. My problem is the procedure, or the lack of procedure, to pick any other person. My problem too is the person as to the track record, in a sense, because of the conflict of interest. Ma Sanneh Kinteh is not independent. Ma Sanneh Kinteh was a CDS under Yaya Jammeh. And Ma Sanneh Kinteh just left the position of CDS a couple of years ago. I cannot tell you precisely what year, but it's within 6 years ago or 7 years ago. And we all know that during his tenure as the CDS, there are a lot of human rights abuses. There are a lot of financial malpractices under his command. I'm not saying that he is responsible, but it was under his control. Yes, we know that. Yaya Jammeh, the way he rules. Then, the best person or the best people to select from would be the people that have the security experience, who have not served under Yaya Jammeh from 1994 to date as a military officer or as a CDS. We have enough Gambians who are qualified, who have not held an office of a higher office in the Gambia Armed Forces under Yaya Jammeh. I will pick 2 or 3 names out of the cap. Retired Major Mabal Diop, Major Gassama, Momadou Gassama, who is in England here, who have graduated with a master's degree in law after leaving the source of the Gambia. Major Chongan, who have graduated with a master's degree in law and who's a policy advisor to the British government, the British Home Office. and who have actually reformed a member of a European Union, the European Union, as policy. We have to get. It's not even a favor to Ma Sanneh Kinteh. The government is not doing a favor to Ma Sanneh Kinteh. We should get someone who has not been under Yahya Jammeh from 1994 to now to review, to help, to advise the president how to approach the security industry, security apparatus. In doing so, if and when we need to get someone to head the armed forces, what should we do? All the potential candidates from Ma Sanneh Kinteh and any other former CDS or any other person or the present people serving the armed forces, if we shortlist them, we can shortlist the candidates, and these candidates should go through a panel to make sure that they were not complicit in any human rights abuses under their command, to make sure that they are not complicit in any financial malpractice, and to make sure that they have earned their ranks and they have been to the best institutions of military institutions or management institutions. But we cannot just take someone because he's eloquent in English or because of he's got a master's degree. No. We have to look at that person's track record, especially if that person have recently served under Yahya Jammeh. And another very important point to note, as Honorable Halifa Saleh said, we should be very careful. I'm not quoting Halifa Saleh here. We should be very careful to avoid to be seen as nepotism or chronic. Chronism and nepotism should be erased from the system. And the only way we can erase nepotism and chronism is try to distance ourselves and put in place procedures and measures. And whoever goes through the procedure or measures, that person even will be so confident to lead or head that institution. It's not only the armed forces. It's not only the armed forces. Can the president tell us how did he come about with the name Ma Sanneh Kinteh? What convinced him? And what are the criteria they looked at to come to the conclusion that Ma Sanneh Kinteh would be appointed and aided to him? Yes. As Halifa Saleh pointed, we have to approach this sensitively, and we have to approach it properly. We should distance ourselves from holding accusations or making blatant statements. It's irresponsible. We have permanent secretaries who are positioned now in these things. Yes, we are not saying that we're going to maintain them, but we have to go through them in order to have the understanding institutional memory and in order to take stock of what is in there before we make statements. We have an Auditor General. We have a central bank governor. We don't expect just to appoint a new central bank governor when we haven't consulted the present central bank governor. We don't expect to have a new CDS or any other person when we haven't consulted the people on the ground. We don't expect to have a new Auditor General or maintain the Auditor General when we haven't consulted the existing Auditor General. It's not about the public opinion, individual opinion. It's about doing the right thing. And the only way we can be sure and sure that we are doing the right thing is when we follow procedures, system, and put in mechanism to go through it. It's not where we just plunge name from a hat or whoever introduced us to a person or whoever lobbied for anyone. That's not the government we fought for. And as I just stated, the reason putting this in English is for the benefit of all Gambians. And probably on Friday, we will conduct the program in English for the benefit of non-Wolof speakers or people who don't understand Wolof well. I think it's a very important topic, and it's very important. It's not only about the armed forces, but any other future appointment. We should be very careful. And as I cautioned yesterday, we are privy to a lot of disturbing news coming out from the government unless they reconsider themselves. Most of the cabinet appointees, we know about the disturbing news coming out of it. And let's remember, the tentacles of Yahya Jammeh are still in the country. We still need to consolidate power. We need to cut off the tentacles of Yahya Jammeh. And time is elapsing, and a vacuum has been created. A vacuum has been created. We should be very careful and don't think of censorship. Yes, we have to be sensitive, but will come a time that we have to take this country, government to account. We've been very patient, yes, and I, for myself, I have approached, and not for myself, and people that knew about this thing have tried to approach and have approached people that would have, who are in position to alert the government about these mistakes, as we call it a mistake. And we hope that this government will listen. This is the government we fought for. This is the government we vote for. And we will stand up. And we fought and took Yahya Jammeh out, not because of anything, but because of he was not right for that country. And because of the things he did to that country, we will not sit back and wait for anybody else to start, to do anything else. Let us not be distracted. Let us concentrate. Let us concentrate in the things that matters. We cannot just take people's endorsement as it is. Let's put it through a proper constitution panel to make sure that people that I have no problem with people who have served under Yahya Jammeh. I've said that. I'm not in the contributors who just blatantly label everybody an enabler. And if on Friday we can discuss that. We cannot exclude everybody, but we have to make sure that we have the people are vetted, to make sure that we have people, and we have, when we have to have people to advise the president, we should know that those people are impartial, those people are independent, they don't have a conflict of interest. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the bit I was bringing up, and just to alert that I will try and come on Friday earlier than the usual time because I'm working in the evening, and I'll arrange to see what slots are available in the FATU network, and I'll put it out on Facebook to alert the general contributors and viewers or listeners for that matter for the time I'll be coming on FATU Radio. And once more, it's not about questioning the character of Ma Sanneh Kinteh. It's about the procedure and the mechanisms or system been put in place, and just to emphasize on transparency, just to emphasize on avoiding nepotism, just to emphasize avoiding cronism, and just to emphasize that, in fact, it's a favor to anybody appointed. If that person have gone through the right channels or been done rightly, then that person will have the confidence and support of the people. Thank you very much, guys, and it's a date on FATU Network on Friday, inshallah. Have a good night. Yanna yalla may jama. Jerejef, thanks.